Hey guys, BJTHEBRAVE here, back with some more Shadowverse, and today I'm bringing you my version of a swordcraft deck. I'm going to call it an aggro swordcraft. It's the one that I've used to climb ladder quite quickly, and I just recently went on a little win streak, a little eight game win streak on ladder in diamond rank. So I just wanted to share the deck list. It's basically using a lot of cards that are in the meta, but it's got a little bit of a twist on it. So let's dive into the deck, and then we'll show you some gameplay. Okay, so what I'm trying to do with this deck is I'm trying to actually not outgrind my opponent, but I'm trying to end the game fairly quick. What we're wanting to do, it's almost like a classic aggro deck, really. You're wanting to snowball the board, control the board early, build a really good board. This is why we start with one drops all the way up in a nice early curve. And then in the late game, we can start to slam, when I say late game, as early as turn 5, we can slam an Albert. You can evolution Albert, put some pressure on, and then that suddenly starts to set you up for doing like an Odin and then into a Ravening Tentacles or a Centaur for the finish. So we're not messing about here, guys. We're trying to get the game out and over with by turn 9, really, 9 or 10. And deck's performing really, really well. It's done well in the mirror. It gives us a little bit of an edge, I think, in the Runecraft match as well, which is, it's quite a coin toss, that match. It's quite a 50-50. With the traditional mid-range sword, I think, but I feel like Rune's weakness is to faster decks, and because we've sped the curve up a little bit and the game plan up, this tends to have a decent match into Rune as well. So we got triple quick blader. I mean, guys, sometimes we'll just evo or super evo this guy in the middle of the game just to kind of get within reach of maybe a tentacle. We've got double Philodou, which is Phildau. Sorry, Phildau's really good still in that mid game, especially if we don't draw our Zirconias, which we've got 3 copies of, 3 copies of Luminous Lance Trooper, and 3 copies of Rose Princess Knight. I say those together because Knight on 5 can end up pulling this. The 1 drop from Lance Trooper that comes out, the Knight attacks something, making it wounded and then or damaged, and then Rose can obviously finish it off for free. We do run 3 copies of Samurai just to deal with those 2/2s if it's early game. Obviously in late game it becomes a key removal. Then we got 2 copies of Princess Picnic and 2 copies of Valse as well, and 2 copies of Hounds. I think that the you can play around with the Valse and Hounds combination. I do like to have that flexibility on 6. Do I want a stealth unit or do I need to go wide? That's why I'm running 2 and 2, and also to get the late game burning, I do have to cut down a little bit on some of the early game units. I only run a couple of Serias. I think this card is really good in certain situations, like it's really good value against Abyss aggro, it's really good against Forest, but there are other matches where I'm wishing it was something else. So I just run a couple of copies, and if you want to run all 3, you can, or if you want to run a 3rd Prim, you can. But I actually ran a single copy of Ruby, and the reason for that is that sometimes you just 2 reasons. One, you just sometimes want a 2/2 body in the early game, which is really good. But also because the nature of what we're trying to do with this deck, actually Ruby's been pretty good because we reach a point in the game where there are certain cards that we're digging for, right? And so Ruby can help course correct the hand. It can get rid of something and help us dig for a Ravening Tentacles or an Odin or a Centaur to end the game, for example. So I actually really like it. And if I'm honest with you, I'm actually tempted to run a 2nd copy. But so far, this is kind of the list that we've run with. We got double Luminous Mage, which is just one of the best value 5 drops in the game, probably, just as a proactive drop. And really, really helpful against the aggro Abyss, right? Like, that's quite a tough match, but if you can draw Luminous Mage and then they don't have Gravy, then you can win that match. Obviously, if they do, then it's a tough one. But I've been finding this deck does really well. In the late game, we can Gildaria. Often with Gildaria, we are actually using a Super Evo. Weirdly, as great as this card is, in some ways, I'm kind of like torn on this card because you kind of don't want to use a Super Evo for a board clear with this deck, but in order to use Gildaria in most games, you have to spend a Super Evo because you won't have accumulated the bodies, and by the time you have, you kind of wanting the game to be over. So in many ways, like, this is a card that might not fit this archetype, and I'm kind of keen to test that a little bit more. It's just such a bloody good card, right? It's like one of the best cards in the Affinity Evolved expansion. So we've kept it in for now, but you could definitely play around with that. Anyway, guys, this is the deck. Let's jump into some games now and show you how it works in practice. Right, so first of all, let's look at the mirror match with Sword. Get rid of the Odin there, keep the nice low curve. So pretty obvious turn one, we're just gonna get board presence and attack face. Obviously this is where Zeri Gunslinger is actually really good. So this is a nice turn, and a lot of it is trying to match your 2-drops against their 2-drops. Like Prim's obviously good because it trades into this, and it's only 1, and then we can set up the Nonja. So, you know, we're also going to curve here, and we're going to use the extra player point, and because we had double rows. Now that's really unlucky. We had double rows, we put rows back, and then we got another rows. I mean, that is super unfortunate. But I think that was a really good turn for making the Ruby play. Also because it sets up options here with the Evo. Now we decide to go with the clear and keep the board alive. We could have done it. We could have done it differently. We could have done more face damage there, obviously. And we're going to do Fildau again. I think Fildau's really good in these like board states. This like 2-for-1 clear. Then they've obviously got to kill Fildau, so it's like a 3-for-1. It's just really, really nice here. For so cheap as well. And it allows us to keep pushing the board. And this is kind of what we're trying to do. This is like our early game plan, is to just snowball the board, use our removal to help keep that board state so we can keep chipping damage away on face. Now, we had a couple of options here. We could Gildaria, but we end up actually going for the Rose Knight because we know we're going to pull removal for the 6-drop. And it massively pays off, right, not going with the Gildaria there, because it wasn't a threatening enough board for the Gildaria, and we know that Sword can go wide in multiple ways. So really glad that we were patient there and we didn't just throw the Gildaria away, because now it's obviously really paid off for us. And now we're in a position like with... okay, we were in a position with Albert where it looked like the game was over. We've got one more irritating problem to deal with first. So first and foremost, we've only got one board state, and obviously we can't attack. But we can attack with the 2 on board. So we actually coin out Albus. And then because that does 3 damage to our opponent, we can then Super Evo one of the 2-drops to clear it, which is a little bit of an unintuitive turn. It's not obviously what we were hoping to do, but because we know we've got the second Albert, we are able to do that. But he has actually healed out of Albert range. So we do another turn of setting up, knowing that on turn 10, because we've got the Quick Blader, we would actually be able to do 7 damage. And he's probably not banking us. He's probably counting us and having a second Albert, but he's probably not counting us on us having Quick Blader as well. And this is what the endgame turns into with this type of a sword deck, right? You've put the effort, you've put the work in, and you've put the investment in early game. So now he's the one chasing his tail, and you're just looking for those finishing burn touches, which is why I say it feels like a classic aggro. So GG to our opponent. If you enjoyed that, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you spot any different lines of play. Always enjoy reading the comments and seeing what other players come up with. I am human. I make many mistakes, and I learn just as much from you guys in the comments as you can learn from watching the game, so appreciate that. Anyway, on to Runecraft, and of course we want to try our best to, again, really capitalize on the sort of turns 1 to 5. And so that's why we're just going to slam Vols here, because it is our best tempo playing, maintaining the board and enabling us to push a little bit of face damage. Now he sets up a Witch Brew. Although he's running Foresight, so it kind of makes me think he's not going heavy into the Earth Sigils, but it's a bit early to tell. Turn 4, really nice to be able to play Nonja out with with Prim in the same turn, obviously. Something that mini combo to look for. When you're debating like which 2-drops to drop and which not, sometimes if that's on for turn 4, you should consider it. And we actually Evo Nonja. The reason for that is I'm thinking like if he Anangrias, I don't want him to be able to just use the Evo 3 damage to clear it. And this way it kind of is going to kill something, right? Like if he Anangrias, it would kill something. But to be honest, he goes with, we put so much pressure on, he goes with the Norman play. And he goes with double, interesting, so he goes with double. So we're going to just Phil Dow here. Phil Dow's a really nice answer to this, especially when you've got all these 1-pings on board. Use Prim to get rid of the barrier, and then Phil Dow can clear, and we can continue to put that damage on. No space on the board for you, Nonja. Down comes Kyon. Imagine that he'll be looking to keep up the ward, which is, you know, it's good thinking from him. It's probably the best he can do. But we've put so much pressure on in the early game again. It's what I like about this version, that we've already got him thinking, you know, thinking about defending. He's always on the defensive, and yeah, that's the best he had. It was going to be GG there with Odin. And we've got a Havencraft match. Now, Havencraft can be challenging. It always depends a little bit on the build and then what they bring. But if it's Wardhaven, obviously we are hoping to draw Odin for Wilbert. This is quite a nice combo, a nice answer to that. But first and foremost, we're just on the board and we're trying to get going now. He's got his first ward down already. So we've got a choice to make. We actually go with the Vals here to clear. But I think we keep Prim in hiding. I'm not sure this is correct, to be honest. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like, so maybe we missed 1 damage there. We'll see if that actually matters in the long run. We're going to Luminous here, and that 1 damage, it's more just a case of clearing having the board space, to be honest. Now, this is a hell of a Selefa if he's got it on coin, but he hasn't. But he has got double ward with barrier and the Evos as well, so we can clear. So Prim's just going to take off the barrier. We are going to have to use those, but we're going to just slam Albert and start putting some pressure on. And this is one of the things with this deck, which is a bit different to the more grindy versions, is I often want to Albert on 5 and push damage. If we've played it properly in the early turns and we've got a bit of chip damage, suddenly Albert on 5 with Evo kind of like really puts him in this range now to set up our mid to late game. Down comes Flash Stepper. Yeah, it's just unfortunate he's not found the Selefa here. But obviously with having the Grimnir is really potent here against Sword. Like, he knows every time he Super Evos, he gets a 2 AoE clear. So he did manage to deal with the board reasonably well there. And what we're trying to do is just put him in range of that Ravening Tentacles. But he sort of reads this quite well. So every time he plays this dose, he gets heal. He's up to 7. So we haven't got the lethal just yet, and it's a case of, again, using Ruby to dig. Now, I actually don't know why I put the 0 cost unit back. I should have probably put Luminous back there. That was, I think it was a bit of a misplay. I didn't realise I'd clicked on the 0 cost. Okay, now we've got a huge Vanguard to deal with. So we're going to Philadow here, and then I think we're just going to hit with Ravening Tentacles and hope that he doesn't bank on us having a second one. Problem is, though, once you have played the first, then your opponent knows it's that type of deck. So it does, and look, he has got some heal here. He actually had quite a lot of heal in this deck, but unfortunately, he didn't have enough to deal with the tentacles. So it was more of a Amulet Haven, really, than a Ward Haven. And we're able to sneak the win. Okay, last up, Abyss. We are going to get rid of Odin. Kind of never really hold Odin. The only exception might be if we were playing against Haven, you might hold it. Probably would actually go in second. Probably would hold it against Haven. So we are playing the Aggro Abyss. This is quite a tough match. I think actually it was Aggro Abyss was the one that I lost my win streak on. If I'm trying to remember actually, but either way, it's not an easy match. You kind of need to try to put some pressure on them. Like it's weird because you are really the control deck, even though you're an aggro deck. You're actually the control deck in this matchup. But I find that if you don't put any pressure on them, then you've just really got no chance. And also the key is really what happens when Luminous Mage is played. Like if he's got Gravy, then he's probably going to win. If he hasn't, then you're going to win. That's often what it comes down to in this match. Now that's a hell of an XLer. Hell of an XLer. Look at that. So, he needs 8 damage for the win. Beryl is not it. That is not a card he wants to be seen in this thing. But with the forced Evo, he does then get the heal off it. So it turns out to be not too bad. Yeah, so it comes down to really close matchups. So there we go, guys. There's the QR code. Hope you enjoyed that one. Please hit that like button below if you did. And yeah, let me know which deck guys you would like to see next. Or any other content that you'd like on the channel. I really appreciate all the support. We're very close now to 4K subs. So I'd like to do a big live stream when we do that. So hit that sub if you haven't. Thanks if you have. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Check out this video next.